Hello, everybody. I hope you guys can hear me now. We're starting our live, and this one is about communication and how we can get better on communication. I've been noticing that I have done many mistakes on communication, and that is why we are doing this live, talking about communication, how we can get better, how can we get better in communication. Hi Edgar, Mr. Tree in Pacifico Electric Philly, what's up? And Local Plumbing, welcome. Thank you for being here. So we're gonna be talking about communication. How are we doing on communicating with our team? How are we communicating with our customers? How sometimes we say that we are going to do something and we don't do it and we don't communicate. Sometimes, even when we are trying to, let's say we're coming late, sometimes we don't let our customer know that we're coming late to the appointment. So communication is very important. Sometimes we don't communicate with our team. Sometimes our guys, they get to a job and they're not sure about what to do. They don't have the right materials. And sometimes it's a wasted time. So your company, it doesn't matter. It's a problem of small companies and big companies. When you're bigger, I understand it's hard to micromanage every team, but if you try to get better on communication with your guys and with your customers, you can give a better service to the customer, and especially because by not doing it, you're leaving money on the table. Your company is losing money. So this is why is it important to get better on communication. And I have some of the most common mistakes that that we do as contractors or as a small business. Hi Utah, hi Rightwire, Mr. Rudy the legend. I hope sometime I was talking to Rudy and I asked him if we could do an interview about how he managed his business and how he started and all that good stuff. I'm sure we can get a lot of really good stuff and learn from him and from his experience. So hopefully in the future we'll get that opportunity with you, Rudy. Oh well, Mr. Rudy is right there. Oh, Rudy, thank you. Let's see. Let's see. Let me say hi to Chat too. Chat, how are you? Thank you for sharing, Chat. Your post this week was really deep, and a lot of us we are familiar with that feeling. So thank you, Rudy, for coming in. What's up? How are you?
So you had an interesting question when you said, "How do we do it to manage your business?" And it comes out to long hours. Like literally, I'm probably working 14 hours a day. Not an issue. That's what's happening with how do you manage your business? Or you can be like some other people that just want to hire 100 people to do your job, and that's just not me. Everybody's going to run their business a lot different than the next guy next door, right? So, um, I do the hiring, the firing, all the paperwork. I'm right here working on estimates. I'm working on billing. So Friday is the day that um, I dedicate to the office. Because if the paperwork doesn't get done, we never get paid.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
it's long hours. There are some bosses that don't come to work for weeks or months, and that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. Not hating on you, but this is how I do it. I try to do everything that I possibly can, even change the oil on the trucks, even change the brakes, even sometimes pull out an engine if I have to. It just depends on how you are and how much money you want to save.
Yeah. How do you think we can get better at communication, Rudy? What do you think? How are you doing on communicating with your guys and communicating with your customers?
So I try to communicate. the CYA style, the cover your butt style, cover your,
Okay.
um, nothing verbal. I tell my guys in the morning, when you leave the shop, please send a message to the project manager. Just say, hey, you got this job scheduled today. We are on our way. We'll be there at 9 o'clock. So whether they see the text or not, because what happens a lot of the times, a lot of people will say, well, I didn't book you today. And you go back to the texts and here it is. Look, I told you I was going to be here at 9 o'clock and the service charge applies. Well, you didn't do anything. Yeah, but I came out. My time is valuable, right?
Of
So
course.
every day, that's one of the processes. When the crews go, I tell them, text your PM or text your customer you are on the way, because you show up to these jobs and they're not ready and they expect you to eat that. You send three guys, by the time they get to the job, it's an hour already. That literally costs you 150 to $200 just to show up in the morning. So,
Yes.
um, that's how I communicate. And if I do talk to somebody on the phone, I'll follow it up with a text. Hey, nice talking to you. This is what we talked about. And I'm pretty good about remembering things, but there's nothing like a text, something where they can't lie about it. It's there
Okay.
in black and white. So, I hate emails. I'm more of a text guy. I use it as a notepad. But there's people that don't text or call. They just want to sit behind the computer all day, and that's fine too. I'm not really an email type of guy. I use phone and I use text. I guess you can call it old school, I guess.
Phone and text is just preferred methods of
Right.
communication.
I mean, look, man, I'm really efficient with my money. Here I am in a tough shed.
Of
You know
course.
what I'm saying? This is
Yeah.
my office right here. You've
Okay.
seen my shop outside. Like, I don't have a fancy building, but this works for me. It might not work for you, but it works for me. It does what I have to do. Um, it accomplishes the task. So this is fine. Look, I got a little mini split over there. Those are all breakers.
Nice.
There's all my plans right there from all the jobs that I do.
Okay.
All my code books over here, the checkbook. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't need to be in a high rise to run my business. So
Okay. Rudy, so how do you learn about the communications skills? How did you get them? Or did you were like that from the start? Or from you were in charge of the of your
you
teams? You
after
or that
a
was something?
while, after a while, you start learning the CYA method, and you're just like you
Okay.
start adjusting. In the beginning, you think that a conversation with somebody is enough, and it really isn't. You have to always CYA all the time, no matter what. Like right now, I'm revising some quotes and I'm putting on there, take out per this person. On this day, you emailed me and you said to take this stuff out of the quote. Always
Okay.
CYA. All the time, all the time. So there's nothing like things being written down.
For sure. For sure. Wow. So Rudy, do you have some time or you're ready to
I
go?
got like 5 minutes.
Okay, let's
What's going
go.
on?
In 5 minutes. So I had my questions for you, but I don't have them right
Just
now. Let
ask
me
me any
check.
other question. It doesn't
Let's
have to be
go.
those specific
Let's
questions.
go. So when when did you start, Rudy? You started like 20 years ago,
I
right?
started in May of 99, May of 1999, and I officially journeyed out like in 2003, 2004.
How was it to get your license?
Simple, easy, easy. I lost my hair thinking about how hard the test was going to be, and when I got there, it was the most kindergarten electrical test that I've ever seen.
Okay, so that is the real story, right?
I mean, you took your test. Was the electrical hard? It
It was
wasn't.
good. It was good. I
Yeah.
obsessed with it. I was like learning and listening to audios on
Mhm.
all everything that was on the test and the laws too. So I obsessed with it.
I
So that's how I
always
pass it.
I always talk crap about the C10. You already know that, right?
Yes, I know. That's why I ask you.
Because I tell people, look, man, if you want to take a test that somehow is a real test, I don't think that the C10 is not is I don't consider it even a real test. I consider the general journeyman exam a real test because there's actually real code questions in that examination. When you go get your C10, I don't even think they give you a code book. There's not even a code book there. There's not even a specific code question that you have to even look up, right?
Yeah,
Things have
yeah,
not changed. So no big deal. That's why me and you are in Steve's class to become better electricians.
yes,
We're probably not becoming better businessmen, but we have to be the best that we can be in the electrical field, meaning the installation, and always make the right call and do the best that you possibly can.
yes, of course. And
Mhm.
the truth is, Steve is a really, really great teacher, and I hope he can get more students because he brings a lot of value to us, Rudy. I mean, he does really good work. So I was telling him, I paid his invoice today, and I was telling him, hey, Steve, thank you for being a great teacher. Because he's really good and he does his job really well.
For somebody to put on this class, 3 times a week and do all the work that he does and the knowledge that we all share together in the classroom is really priceless. I mean, you come up with some questions, I come up with some questions, and we sit there and we figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, all of us, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, what have been some of the biggest challenges that you faced in building your company and how you overcome them?
So look, man, I'm not even going to say that I've had really challenges because I did everything backwards. Okay.
Okay.
Most guys are working for somebody. They go get their C10, and they quit their job and they have no work, but they got a C10, or they
Uh-huh.
have very little work. Right.
Yes.
So I did it backwards. I do everything backwards. I had kids, then I got married. That's backwards. You're supposed to get married, then have the kids. Right. But I literally was already running a contracting company. I was already working without a license. I already had employees. I already had contracts. I already had customers. So when I got my C10, nothing changed.
Okay.
The only thing that changed is that now I had to pay workman's comp. I had to pay general liability. That's it. But I mean, you're fairly new in the field, meaning in business. The hardest thing
Yes.
is getting work. The hardest thing is finding clients and clients that are going to
Hmm.
keep coming back. That is, if you want to ask, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to say is getting clients and then maybe getting paid, getting the money out of their pocket into your pocket.
What strategies have you found most effective for growing your business? What strategies do you use?
What studies?
Strategy.
So the strategy that I like to use, I like to stand out, with the vehicles, with my
Okay.
gear, with my crews, um, with my installations. I mean, you see the type of work that I do. Like literally, I mean, I'm not gonna brag, but I was on a job the other day, probably about a month or two, and the GC was taking pictures of my work and sending it to his electrician, his other electrician, like showing him, look at what this guy's doing for me, and why can't you do the same thing? And I was like, everybody's at different levels. You can't expect the same installation from somebody else. I made up the panel and he took pictures of it and he's sending it to his electrician. I was just like, oh man, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So,
Uh,
the other thing is that I always tell my guys, don't complain. I said, if things change, do it with a smile on your face. The last thing a GC wants is think about it, man. Electricians throughout history, we already have a bad rap, and I'm trying to get away from that. Don't cry, do what you're supposed to do, and you move on. A lot of guys get all hurt. Oh man, you added a can light because you don't have it in your truck. You have to
yeah.
drive, you have to drive back to the store with me, with us, our big trucks. I don't have that problem. You had a Cadillac, we're like, hell yeah, another $200. Go get it. It's in the truck. You want an exhaust fan? I got it. You want dimmers? I got it. My trucks are fully stocked. So we love the extras. We do them with a smile. I don't have to go back to
Okay.
the truck. I don't have to go buy a 20-cent box anymore.
Yeah. Some people say in the extras is sometimes where you make more money, right?
You make money everywhere, but I'm gonna call this strategy, right? I normally how do you get work, right? Do you go in there as the low bidder knowing that on a specific set of plans you're missing all the smoke detectors and you're not going to tell the customer, hey, you're missing the smokes? I'm the type that's going to say, hey, look, here's the bid per plan and
Okay.
here's all the stuff you're missing. Here's all the
Okay.
stuff you're missing. So be realistic with the customer. Honesty is going to go a long way. So
Okay.
when you're bidding against somebody else and it's apples to apples, yes, keep those apples to apples exactly the same. Bid it per plan and then come up with all the possibilities of all the extras on a different bid. So like that, the customer, because you gotta understand, everybody's on a budget, right? They only have so much
Yeah.
money to spend. And if I go in there and right wire bids a job at 50 and the other guy bids it at 35, he gets the job, then he's just gonna nickel and dime the customer. I'd rather be up front from the beginning and tell him, hey, this is what you're missing. You're gonna need all
Okay.
this.
And and sometimes when you bid a job really low, sometimes you're not happy on it, so you're miserable, right? You're working, but you're not happy in it.
It happens. It happens on the smaller jobs that we do. We'll do a little hot bathroom for, $1,800, and it's a one day, one guy, then send them back, and then you got to go back because they don't have the sconces.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, with volume, it's going to equal out. With the volume. So
Okay.
that's just how it is.
So, Rudy, this one is important before you leave. Running a business can be demanding. How do you manage um maintain a healthy work-life balance? How you don't go crazy on?
After a while, it's like a jogger that runs 10 miles a day. They just
Okay.
become accustomed to it. Like I'm working on
Okay.
this revised bid right now, and they want all these options. Well, what if we don't do this? What if we don't do that? Again, you just have to do it, with good spirit,
Okay.
so it doesn't take a toll on you, so it doesn't drain that positive energy that you have, right? Just do it, just get it done. Right
Okay.
now it's Friday, it's 7:18 here where I'm at, and here I am working on paperwork for this customer. He sent me
Okay.
that today, and I'm going to get it back to him today. Be efficient, be fast. Don't wait a week to do this.
Okay.
They send it to me one day and boom, it's back out. Because what happens is when you start slacking, things start piling up. They pile up, and then you're like, holy cow, I got 100 bids to do. Like right now, literally, I have one bid to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably going to be a few hundred
Oh,
thousand, and it's
wow.
coming up. That one's next. I'm going to be working on that one next. But don't let stuff pile up, man. Use every minute of your time to get things off your to-do list. It's the only way to do it, you
What
know?
was there a point where you were like, because now if I listen to you, you sound like really you're taking it like you're used to it now. But was there a point at your beginning that you felt like overwhelmed and you're like, I'm gonna lose my head or something or go
No, man.
crazy?
You,
You
you
never
know,
did.
like no, because I was always a worker. I've always seen my parents work, okay?
Okay.
Like my culture, we work with our hands.
Yes.
I saw my dad work, I saw my mom work, so working for me was like second nature. Me llevaban a trabajar, a
Yeah.
chingale. No había que, like literally for summer, bro, I would rather go to school and be off at 12 because I knew I would have the rest of the day off than versus not going to summer school and my dad would take me to work with him and I wouldn't come back till 11 o'clock at night
Wow.
for my dad, right? So, but there was times when I would risk it, I'm like, man,
Hmm.
I'm not going to summer school and boom, guess what? I'm going to
Yeah.
work, so desde chiquito me enseñaron a trabajar. Like that's one thing, like again, it's like that jogger that's running the 10 miles. For me and you, it's hard
Yeah.
because we're not accustomed to it,
Hmm.
right? But I'm accustomed to it. Me working 14 hours a day, every single day, it's like that jogger running the 10 miles. It doesn't even, he goes home and probably washes his car and do other chores. So
Okay.
you just
So you
become
still
accustomed to it. You have a routine. Like my routine is I get to the shop every single morning. Here's my schedule of all the crews,
wow.
all the different crews, go out to different jobs. I dispatch them. Sometimes I tell these guys, "Hey, you're gonna be on that job for the whole week. I'll see you Friday." You show up, you get your truck, and you're gone. You know.
Okay.
So yeah, dispatch in the morning. Certain crews that are going to new jobs, and then I go do all my own work. You know that I'm out there in the field. I love to work, man. No le saco al trabajo. Like
Eso.
I literally today I was under a building, bro.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna see a boss under a damn building. I was
I know. I was
like,
surprised to see you
dude,
under that house.
I will dig. I will go in attics. I will go in basements. Like I'm not the type of boss that's gonna say, "Oh, well, you go in the basement because you're the employee." Nah, bro, let's go in the basement. Come help me.
Okay.
I could have sent a crew to go do that work. It was hot, and muggy down there,
Yeah.
right? Like, no, man. If you want to work with your guys, there's nothing, in my opinion, being in the trenches with your employees. They give you different type of respect.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You're earning it, right?
Well, it's funny because when we started, my employees said that they gave me 5 years. They're like,
Really?
we'll give you 5 years. You're going to turn into all the other bosses that we've had.
Wow.
Um, that you'll just be in the office, you'll be on vacation, and I'm like, I remind them all the time, hey, I'm still right here with you guys, still in the
Yeah.
field, still working, still with my bags.
20 years later.
Yeah, that's right.
How do you fall in love with electricity? Was there a moment where you say, "Hey, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life," or
Dude,
or
I'm
the
I'm
life
I'm
just took you
I'm
there?
motivated by money. I love
Okay.
money. I love my investments. I love
Okay.
what I do with the extra money that I get. I'm into real estate. I normally don't talk about that on here, but um I own multiple properties that I don't like to brag. I'm just telling you like what motivates me.
Okay.
I love money. Right now I'm working on my ninth home. Hopefully that goes through. And then
Okay.
after this, my 10th home, I've been dreaming about getting a house in the lake at Havasu, because I'm getting older now. So I want to start relaxing a little
For
more,
sure. For sure.
going out with my wife to the little vacation home. And, I have a boat, putting the boat up there at the river and just hitting the river, 4, 5, 6 times a year and start relaxing. I work hard and I'm going to play hard. In the beginning, it was really hard to take those vacations, because money was low. Now I'm at, in the beginning, when you're first starting off, you're always thinking about the rent and your bills.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
get to a certain level in your life. I'm already at a certain level that I don't think about those things. I know that if I get up every single day and do what I have to do, everything is going to get paid.
Okay.
I have all my stuff on auto pay now.
Okay.
I put my money every week or 2 weeks. I get the same money. Boom! I put it in the bank. Everything gets paid, right? But in
Wow.
the beginning, when I was working for somebody, it was really hard. Like, man, the checks would come in, and I'm like, man, this is all for the rent. This was in the beginning when I only had one house, right? So it's important, to make goals. Like I started off with one house, and then every 5 years I buy a house. So the shop here that I'm at now, I bought this one in 2015. In 2020, I bought another house, and here comes 2025, right? So I'm working on another house right now for 2025. So my goals are becoming realities because I have certain techniques that I do to save money and reinvest money.
Okay. Okay. You've been learning that on the
You know
way, right?
what? I work for some people that are millionaires, bro. Y
Okay.
como dice el dicho, dime con quién andas, right?
Okay.
You know, right? Right or wrong,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes. For
Tell me
sure.
who you're hanging around with, and it's just
Yeah.
going to be a reflection of them, right? So
Yeah.
so in the beginning, when I started my company, I started getting some clients, man, and they were into real estate. And
Okay.
I have these I have some clients where beautiful stories. They're like, I'm like, man, how did you guys become so wealthy? And he's like, my grandpa came here, in the 30s with
Wow.
nothing in his
Hmm.
pocket, and he bought and bought and bought. All his money went into real estate, and now these people are sitting in Newport Beach, bro, on Balboa,
Hmm.
overlooking the ocean, chilling. You know what I mean? And I'm just
Of
like,
course.
man, what a beautiful story. Where
Yeah.
do I start? How do I start? Right. So my legacy is, I mean, we were not poor. My mom worked, my dad worked. Um, but I want to leave a legacy behind. Like, I don't want nothing from this world. All the stuff that I'm working for is literally for my kids. I'm very simple, dude. I don't own a Rolex. I hate gold. I don't have suits. I'm very simple, but I can afford all that. People trip
Yeah.
out. Like, if you know me and get to know me, dude, like, all my trucks are old 2000, 2001s, but I love my trucks, right? My wife doesn't have a new car. We're very we put our money in certain areas,
Okay.
and in certain areas we don't. So it all ties into business, right? Because you gotta understand, me and you, we're in the same boat. But what are we going to do later on, right? Like, I
Yes.
had a pension with the IBW, and some of the my brothers in the IBW were like, "Oh, bro, you lost your pension." I'm like, "Look, bro, don't worry about me. If I live long enough, I'm going to be bringing in 3 to 4 times what I could have got in the
Oh,
pension
wow.
because of my investments,
Hmm.
right? Because of my investments. So thank you very much for thinking about me, but I'm good. Trust me, I am good. I got houses right now that are already paid for.
Wow.
That's just how it is. So, being self-employed, you need to look down the road, because if you're not saving money, if you're not investing money, if you're just blowing it, um, simple, right? Do I buy myself a brand new truck, or do I buy
Yeah.
the company a brand new truck? I'm going to buy the
Yes.
company a brand new
For
truck, right?
sure. Yeah.
That's just how we need to think,
Yeah.
you know,
We have to
little
change
by little,
our
little by
mindset,
little.
right?
Yeah, yeah. What are your
Okay.
priorities?
Yeah.
What priorities do
Exactly.
you have in
I was
business?
thinking of a Tesla.
Look, if do you ask yourself, do you really need it?
No.
Do you have a work truck? Can
I
you do without
do.
it? You have a work truck. Like, I don't even have time to enjoy my trucks. I
Yeah.
have a 2001 Ford Excursion that I absolutely love to drive. And you know what? It sits here at the shop. When I
Yeah.
move it, when it's street sweeper, I put it in and then I put it out. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I
Wow.
have that F550, right? I love that truck. I
Hmm.
want to be buried in that truck. That truck is a hauler. Anytime I go far, I jump in that 7.3 and I'm gone, right? I love that truck. I'd rather have that old truck than a brand new 2024 Ford with the 6.7. Like, I love
Okay.
that truck, right? So I'm not the type that's materialistic, in the sense, like, our society is becoming so materialistic, in the sense, like, I have nice things, you know,
Okay.
but I try to limit it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I like to buy my trucks and keep them for a long time, right?
Okay.
I had trucks from 2000 and 2001s that were still good, and I sold them because you get to the point where, like, okay, ya le saqué todo lo que podía. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
and not only that, it's also presentation,
Hmm.
Um, it's presentation, like, all people see that from the outside.
For sure. Yeah. So you think not like this of not being interested on materialistic things that you could, let's say, instead of buying investments, you could be like buying cars or buying some other stuff that
Yeah.
brings no value. That'll
Correct.
help you
Like,
to grow.
what is it going to do for you in the future if I go buy a SL 500?
Yeah.
What is it going to do?
Yeah. I need.
For me, nothing. Yeah, I'm going to look cool driving around, and that's fine. But I rather invest my money in a in a mini excavator, in a loader, in a trailer, in something.
Yeah,
That's just
it
how
will
I
lose
am.
value the next year. Sometimes they say like cars, once they're out of once they're out of the dealer, they're like already half of what they cost you.
Yeah. So it's just priorities. Like, what priorities do you want? Do you want to look cool around everybody and pretend that you have all this money when you're really broke? You're
Yeah,
barely making
exactly.
it every single month,
Yeah.
or or maybe send one or two extra payments, which I do on my real estate. Um, I'm sending if dude, I have mortgages that are $1,000. I'm sending 3 grand. I got
Wow.
mortgages that are $3,000, and I'm sending 4,500. Right? I'm cool. I'll take the bus.
Okay.
I'll Uber. I don't need that expensive car. But again, that's just me. I'm not talking crap about anybody else. I'm just saying that that's just me. That's how I
Yeah.
am. That's how I live my life. Because I know at night I want to be able to sleep. I want to be like, you know what? I don't have that car payment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right, Rudy. Thank you. You've been very, very generous with your time and with your knowledge. I really appreciate you, and thank you.
that's right.
I'm gonna keep going, and thank you for bringing all these people. They're all new to me. So
Who's
yeah.
next? Who's
So
next? Chad?
I hope Will or chat, so we can talk about communication. Will is really good at communication, so that's why I wanted him on. But hopefully he has the
Let's see.
time. And
I got a little bit more minute.
okay,
Let me
okay,
see. We have let me
you
see.
can say hi to everybody.
I'm 2 months into the apprenticeship. What tips do you recommend? So it's always important to get into the right apprenticeship. Do your homework. Make sure it's state indentured.
Okay.
Okay, especially here in California for 85 an hour. Yeah. How can I get an ET? Find work besides. Yeah, getting the ET is easy. You just sign up. Finding the work is the hard thing. I have a good, peaceful section in my garage. I don't know what you're talking about. How much do you charge to update a service? How much do I charge? So here in California, there's no such thing I can say as a 150. It's a 100, 125, 200, then 4, 6, 8, and 1,000. But on the low budget side, if it's underground fed, 3,500, you add that riser, you add another 1,000, 1,500 bucks. So you're looking at 35. 45 plus permits. What's up? What's up?
Mom,
Well, welcome.
this is like my fifth phone call with Rudy today.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So this guy's asking a question that says, "How do you keep up with your standards?" So what a lot of people don't know that I've had guys for 20 years, 15 years here working at the company. So once you train them, they the standards stay the same. And then once in a while, when I'm in the area, if you follow me on Instagram, I'll do a surprise revisit to a job and do a quality check to make
Wow.
sure everything is going fine. And not only that, I'll go on my own job and act as the inspector and tell the guys, no, fix this, fix that, fix that. So when we really get the real inspector on the job, he doesn't find any mistakes because I've already found them and we've already fixed them. Yep. So what's up, Will?
Good, good, good. Just had dinner with the family, watched a movie with them because I leave tomorrow morning to you guys. So we got a little family time now, and now it's time to pack and get ready. I take the 4 o'clock cab over to the airport because I got a 2 hour drive. So
That's cool.
I got the
I'll see you.
Okay.
I'll see you tomorrow out here.
yeah, yeah.
You're going to Nika, Rudy?
I'm going. I'm
Okay.
going
Okay.
because it's here.
Nice.
It's here in California. Why not?
Yeah. Exactly. Really close to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you, Rudy. Do you want to, you can stay. I know you're busy, but you can say hi to all your followers.
Dude, if I leave, it's gonna be ghost.
That's
No, just like
okay. Nah, it's okay. We're
I'm
used
trying to
to it,
read
you
the
know.
comments.
I'm used to it. It's
So
okay.
somebody was saying on one of the comments is who is Steve, right? Steve is an instructor, inspector with electricaltimes.com, and we're both in the
Yes,
class,
sir.
and we really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. Truck stop is mandatory. Check it every day. That's right. So the process here is that on Friday, the idea is when the journeymen or the leads come into the office and they give me the work orders of what they actually did, the apprentices or the helpers, because each crew when we say crew, it's more than one, right?
Okay.
So the crews are depends. Some of them it's three on a team, right? Those are the production crews. But on Friday they come here, and obviously I have a small wholesale house here of stuff that we use all the time, and the apprentices helpers load up the truck. So when they go to work, they have the proper material.
Okay.
Thank you. Let me see.
Thank you everybody for being here. All the Rudy's fans and my
So
fans, my three fans,
so
my three
do you
followers.
use? They're asking me if I use a bidding program.
Yeah,
No, I don't.
that's
I
a good
don't.
one.
I don't use a bidding program. I do not. I have QuickBooks and everything in there, all the numbers I have inputted. I've made up all these numbers on my own. So you have to get good and efficient on figuring out, you as an electrician, you know how long it's going to take you to do a service. You know how long it's going to take you to run 100 feet of EMT. You know, you can get that done in 4 hours. So start doing the math in your head.
Are you one of those bosses, Rudy, that think like everything is really easy and really simple? It's 2 hour job, get it done, and then it's end up
Well,
being a whole
that's
day.
so I never rush my guys. You know, I give them the proper time. You know, some
Okay.
are slower. I got some guys that are slower than others, and that's fine. You know, I got um you know, some guys that are good at service that can go into somebody's house, and you know, next time they call, they're like, man, I really want you to send this specific employee. You know, that's what you want to hear, because they're good with people. The guys doing the construction part and the production part, we don't even see the customers. We go in, we do our job, and we're gone. So you have to make sure that you match the correct person with the correct job all the time.
All right. Well,
Let me
how are
see.
you? How you? What do you think about the communication mistakes that we as contractors do? The most common. Are
That's
you are you guilty of some of those mistakes?
yeah. Oh, heck yeah. I think everybody is. And like what Rudy was saying, how you have to know what your guy can or can't do in the terms of assigning them a job. What happens a lot of the times, especially when it comes to the construction industry, is so many people as a whole, we're so used to being told what to do instead of being taught. So many people go do this, go do that, go do that. Nobody really communicates, no one really teaches.
Yes.
It's very rare when you can find that. As an industry, that's prevalent, especially when it comes to inspectors. Rudy has some videos where the guy's like, no. Remember, Rudy, the one where he's like, he insisted on having 2 ground rods. They're still
Yeah, yeah,
telling you what to do, yet they don't want to teach you.
yeah,
People lack the ability. Teaching is an art form. That's why communication is you know what? Number one fear, Forbes 2023, the number one fear of 90% of the world. Do you know what it is?
What
that's
Have it?
is it?
a failure to fail.
No. It's today's topic. Public speaking.
Communication? Well,
Communicate. Public speaking is the number one fear of
Wow, I
most
didn't
individuals.
know that. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
People, and especially business people, are afraid to communicate.
yeah.
So you got a whole bunch of people scared to communicate, but they're running all the projects, they're running the businesses, they're running all this stuff. And that's why like PBD, our mentor, what he cracks up and he when he always tells us about is, he goes, it's so impressive seeing these multi-billion-dollar companies. For example, in March, we went to Mar-a-Lago and he worked with some of these big companies. For example, I sat next to the CEO of Coca-Cola, right?
Wow.
And that's like, Will, you're here just to watch. Shut up and just listen. And then he goes to CEO of the Coca-Cola, and we're like, what's some of your problems? Let's process them together. And then he goes, sometimes I don't feel like doing. He goes, everybody, listen. This is the CEO of like one of the most richest companies in the world. And his problem is he doesn't feel like communicating with his team.
Wow.
You see that? It's like, dude, you would think with this billion-dollar, trillion-dollar equation company that communicating should be like this.
Yes.
The number one
Dude, so
issue.
we meet every single Friday, right? So if I see an issue on a job, I'll address it in front of everybody. I'll be like, I do not want to see that ever again. I'll give you an example. Drywall screws on outlets, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'll go troubleshoot something and I'll just come back and be like, hey, you guys, anybody recognize this screw? Oh, well, no, dude. You have a big truck. Put screws in there. Like, I don't want to see little dumb things like this. We're professionals. I better not find another freaking drywall screw in anything.
Hmm.
And boom, it ends. It's
Wow.
done. So communication with the crew, you have to tell your employees what you expect out of them. You have to be very clear.
Yep.
And I
But
expect
then teach them
them.
like you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because
Yep.
telling can only get you so far.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because then
So yeah, so after a while, the leads that have been with you, you mold them to the way you want things installed. They already know. So I tell them this, look, man, you show up to a job and you're going to do a service panel. Don't take the rods, but don't put them in. Verify what's there first. You might not
Mhm.
need them.
Okay.
So I
That's it.
train my guys and I tell them, look, man, if you have a cold water in the Uford, you're done. If you have a cold water, drive 2 or 1 and you're done. If you have nothing, drive 2 and you're done. Like
Mm.
techniques that just flows. They have to know, right? So after a while, they're not even asking anymore, right? They're the perfect employee. Hey, man, you're doing a panel. It's overhead, underground. They know what to get. They're gone. I don't hear nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at someone. Borim just said it. According to several studies, a significant statistic show that around 75% of the people would rather face death than public speaking.
Wow.
I'm telling you, it's
Yeah.
the
Oh,
unspoken fear.
even this would be considered public speaking, right? Like we're
Correct.
Yeah.
talking. We have over 100 people that just stopped by. We were at 180.
Yeah.
Well, public speaking in the sense of in front of people.
Yeah.
Instagram media doesn't count as
But
public speaking.
the, the
That's
the issue, the problem is that I tell people you're your own worst enemy. Pretend those people are not there.
Yep.
Pretend nobody's watching us. Pretend that it's only us three,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
That's it. It's not hard. People will make themselves sick
For
because of
sure.
this.
Mm-hmm. Like what we talked about, Mape, the self development, the 3 tiers,
Yes.
triangle. Self
Yeah.
is the other one.
It's hard to
Yep.
But
So
change that mindset, right? From
yep.
just worker, and you don't have to worry about invoicing and dealing with customers. You
And
just go there and get the job done and go home.
so I want to finish on that one topic with the communication with
Go
PBD.
ahead.
So when he was talking about it, so PBD's story, if you get to learn, he's from Iran.
Yeah.
So PBD's story, a Syria, Iran refugee, he's over here saying, over there, people's number one fear. What do you think their fear is in Iran, Rudy?
oh shit.
Right, like getting bombed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The bomb.
getting in the wrong place, wrong
He
time.
said every day the sirens would go off,
Yeah.
that missiles. The family, he would run home to families. His father would hug him, and they thought and prayed every day, "Is this the day I'm going to die?"
Wow.
That fear. They come to U.S. He's a teenager, Army. He starts going into sales. He still goes into business, and he starts finding out people are scared of talking.
Yeah.
He goes, "You're scared of talking. I'm scared of bombs."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're telling me I can get paid to talk. He
Yeah.
goes, and how he started. He goes, I'm gonna talk. I'll talk to any hard conversation. I'll talk to anybody. Like
Yeah.
Rudy's the mindset.
Yeah.
When you realize, oh my God, people are dealing with other things. You don't have talking shouldn't even be a fear.
Yeah.
So that's what he does now. So when I was in that room with Coca-Cola, and then he's like, I'm afraid that people might misunderstand,
Yes.
assume something.
Yeah.
Like, how much is your company worth? He goes, right now we sit at like 300 billion a year. How much if you were to sell it? If we were to sell it, it's like equated at like 900 something bill. The CEO who's in charge of a $900 billion company is scared to communicate with his leadership team.
Yeah.
Isn't
Do,
that insane?
do you think now with this,
Oh,
with these times,
sorry.
do you think that sometimes, how they say, like the new guys, the younger generation is kind of a little bit, you have to be more nice, communicate more kindly with them? Do you think it's a difference there now? You have to watch the way you communicate
It's
with them, or not?
two. I don't. It genuinely depends. They are more in tune with their feelings,
Okay.
but they're the craziest. They say whatever's on their mind now. Back in the day, I'm not like you guys, but I was raised think before you speak. These kids will say whatever they want right now. So communicating is not the issue. They'll say, I got a problem with that. Yes, they may be entitled. Yes, they may have poor work ethic, but communicating is not an issue. They say what's on their mind, bro. You look at the comments, these little kids are, shoot, they'll say whatever they want,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it a
But
communication problem? I don't think so. It's an entitlement. It's a personal problem in a different capacity.
okay, what do you think, Rudy?
Times have changed.
So
People
are
are
you?
soft.
So,
People are soft, man.
yeah.
I mean, people are soft, and you have to be able to read people if they're strong minded or not. Like me, bro, I don't let nothing bother me.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Okay.
I'm not even worried about it because I'm focused on other things, right? Um, but I'm pretty good at looking at a softie and saying, "Man, I need to be careful with this guy.
Oh
I
wow.
need to right? I can't talk to him a certain way. I can't treat him a certain way. Like I have guys that I can literally say, bro, like what the hell were you thinking, bro? Like really, this is what you did, and they're
Yeah.
cool with it, dude. You do that to the wrong person, and they're just gonna. I've seen people cry
Yeah.
just by even raising your voice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Happens. Oof.
Yeah,
But no, that's a big one. That's a big
Yeah.
one.
yeah,
So we have
yeah,
to we have to learn and read people on how they're gonna react on everything, on
yeah,
something that we're gonna say, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm the type that I hold my feelings in the sense like I tell my kids, I'm like, look, man, save your tears for a funeral.
Mhm.
Don't cry over anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be sad times, and that's when you express yourself. But I tell them, don't just cry for anything. Like, be strong. Be strong. Um, a good cry is needed sometimes.
Yes.
But be strong at the same time. Let it out, and start over. Don't be sad and then sad again. There's people that are just sad and hurt all the time. Like, dude, move on. This world is not going to wait for anybody. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Wow.
I'm talking about more like the younger generation that are depressed. That
Yes.
don't want to go out and work.
Good.
No, they don't have no motivation from anybody. They don't have nobody to tell them, dude, get off your ass and get you a job.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Wow. Really good. It's really good what you are sharing, Rudy. Really,
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
So I was
So,
blessed with good parents. My mom worked, my dad worked. My dad had his own business. Um, my mom worked for the hospital, and I saw them get up every day early in the morning, go to work. So it's part of my environment. That's what I grew up with, and that's how I ended up. You grow up in a bad environment. I mean, I grew up in a bad environment per se. I saw bad things. I grew up right here in Santa Ana, which is this is like a bad area. Santa Ana is the worst gang infested area, but it's what do you want to do with yourself? What do you want to do in life? Do you want to be it's funny. I still have friends that are out there on the street using drugs, hooked on heroin. And I see them and I'm just like, bro, like you're almost 50, bro. What have you done? Nothing, absolutely nothing. They have all their
Mm.
possessions with them. And I'm just like, because of choices, remember choices. They didn't care to invest in themselves. That's the difference. They probably grew up different than me. They probably grew up but again I've seen people in the gutters that grew up bad and they're doing good. So I'm not into blaming my environment or blaming my parents because they spanked me one time. Nah, man. You know what? Get over that shit. Get over it. Life is not going to wait for you. It's going to keep moving on. It's like a freeway. You see all the cars passing and you're on the side right there. Either you go with the flow or you're just going to be on the sideline. It's that simple.
For sure, for sure.
Mhm.
So true.
Wow. So, how do we get better on communication? What do you see like in other contractors? Any good advice on dealing with customers or dealing with employees? And also, communication, it matters a lot on the family too. Do you guys have any good tips on communications for the people that is watching?
For me personally, communication, there's an expression that a lot of my mentors used, and it was, how do you make it to Carnegie Hall? It's practice, practice, practice.
Okay.
So you have to put, and that's one of the skills, as we mentioned, majority of the world's scared of it, but yet everyone does it. You guys been doing it
Making
for
money.
you guys been doing it for 40 plus years. That's the strongest muscle you guys have,
Yeah.
So how do you now portray that out? And it's just by practicing, practicing, practicing. But then you also, like Rudy said, you have to also develop those senses of how do you communicate to somebody. If you speak just boom, 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 they'll be like, oh my God, why would you think that? So, but that all comes with practice. That comes with experience. That comes with putting yourself in uncomfortable situations to keep growing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, with some people, how do you talk to that girl? Bro, just talk to her.
Yeah.
Just
It's
talk to her.
the first step.
Don't
Yeah.
that you're going to talk. Just talk to her like a normal person.
You're
Yeah,
already thinking about rejection.
Yeah.
exactly. Come on, man, just talk. So it's the same thing with your employees.
Yeah.
Same. You got to communicate. Sometimes people don't want to talk because then that opens up an objection. Because think about it. Back in the day, Wild West, I love history. And what I love is back in the day when they talk about the founding fathers and everything, if you didn't agree with somebody, we're shooting it out. You know?
So you better agree.
And then one person is going to come back right. Technically, back in the day, if I was to say 1 + 1 is 2, and Rudy goes, no, 1 + 1 is 3. And if we go and we shoot it out and he wins, he goes back, I told you 1 + 1 is 3. So listen, so back in the day, there was always that fear of, if you said something I don't like, we're going to confront each other now. With social media, that took that fear away. That gave keyboard warriors the name, That also gave people an opinion, where anybody now has an opinion. So communication is so valuable because that's the only way to get your point across. That's the only way you can keep growing. That's the other way you learn. You ask, you receive. That's the dance. But so many people are afraid to have that communication because they're scared of that objection, the rejection from the girl. Like Rudy said, they're already thinking about the rejection.
Yes.
It's good. Now, if you think you're going to get rejected, either when it comes to business, hey, I'm going to submit this offer. I could get rejected. Why would someone reject you? Well, maybe with the girl, for example, maybe I'm looking a little messy. Let me clean up a little. That's time for you to self-reflect. But people don't want to think those layers down. That's self-development. They want everything superficial, easy, 1, 2, 3 conversations. But those objections give you layers on how to work with each other, just like business. If someone goes, here's my offer. Someone goes, no. What do people usually do? And walk away. Why didn't you like my bid? Well, you came in a little too high. Let me check my pricing. Maybe there's an issue with my pricing. Maybe there's an issue with their. Okay, if I came in with this price, would that work? Yes, it would. If it wouldn't, no. Well, what is it? Then you start finding out, oh, maybe it's not the price. Maybe he doesn't like your work history. Ooh, let me go reflect on that. Communication is valuable because it gives you areas to reflect on in life. People nowadays don't want that. They don't want to self-reflect. Rudy and I was talking about that, where people say, hey, there's an issue with XYZ or a person. They don't want to stop and go, maybe I'm the issue. Wow. You know what I mean? Because now that's self-reflection. That's the self-development. People don't want to do that. No, they rather pass the buck on to something else. So just like in business, that's time for you to learn about yourself. That you need that. You need communicate. Sometimes I tell my daughter, because every time right now, we'll go on a road trip, and she got the iPad on, and I'm like, babe, shut the iPad off and just think. What do I got to think about? We're gonna figure it out. Just think. And is there times, do you guys ever drive in your car and then you don't even have the radio on and you're just thinking?
Dude, I
Yeah.
do that every day.
Yeah, they said entrepreneurs are prone to doing that. Bro, you can drive sometimes for an hour and then
Dude,
you're like, oh, shoot, the radio's not even on.
dude.
You were just in your mind. But
So I tell my helper, right, in the morning, he's
hmm,
just going off, and I'm like, bro, I need peace and quiet. I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking about what's next, who's going to what job. It's not that I don't want to talk to you right now, but you have to understand I'm at a different mindset than you.
mhm.
Just give me a minute, right? Because I he lives right down the street from me, so I pick him up every day in the morning. We drive to work, and I tell him, if I tell you, give me you know, not that I want to ignore
Hmm.
you, but I'm just because I'm quiet, it doesn't mean that I'm not doing anything. I'm thinking about 15 employees right now. That just give me a second, you know. But that it doesn't mean, you know, yeah. So I do that all the time, dude. I sit in bed and I'm already thinking about the next day. I really don't look too far out, but I'm thinking about within the next 24 hours what's going to happen. What do I need to do to keep on track?
But now you're communicating with yourself.
Yeah.
People don't want that reflection because
So
they didn't want to say
yeah.
it out. So that's the key to it, though.
Yeah. So I have this habit of looking at my own newsfeed, right? And my
Oh,
daughter, she's like, Dad, you're weird. You made that video. Why are you watching it? You watched it like 3 times. Just because I'm listening to what I'm saying and it's helping me process what I need to do next. I'm already thinking about the wire that I have to order. Like today, I connected all the feeders on these two buildings. So I'll watch it and I'll be like, okay, Monday, I need to pick up the wire. I need to pick up the tugger. I need to pick up A, B, and C. So it's funny. I use my page, the stuff that I post helps me remember things that I might have to do.
yep.
Okay.
Love that.
It's
And
not that you really love yourself a lot.
and that's all part of
You have to
community.
you look, man, you have to have self-love. I
Yeah.
think that it's very important, you know. When you have self-love for yourself, you're not going to be doing stupid shit, you
Yeah.
know. Things that might get you in jail, things that might get you addicted to maybe alcohol or heroin or cocaine or crack cocaine or you know stuff like that. So, I'm not saying that you can't love yourself, but if you're you know, becoming an alcoholic and you're killing yourself, you know, is that really love? Do you really love the temple? Do you love your body? You know, think about it. Just ask yourself those questions. I'm not saying I don't drink, but I'm going to say I'm not a drinker, right? When I do drink, I don't drink beer. I drink hard liquor, and it's not every day. It's not even every month. It's maybe for my birthday, maybe
Yep.
twice a year. You know,
Yep.
I don't take advantage of it. My dad always used to say, ¿qué decía? Está bien, poquito, no hay problema,
Oh,
pero no todos los
Yeah.
días. You know,
Yeah.
like chill, bro. You want to have your drink, you want to have a few shots, it's cool. Once in a while, it's cool, but don't do it every day.
mhm.
So that's another thing. Like, I never saw my mom smoke. I never saw her really get drunk. The alcohol wasn't a big deal. Well, on one side of my family it was, but it didn't affect me because my dad wasn't really a drinker. So um yeah, just you have to love yourself, man. You have to.
Yeah.
I love that.
Wow.
I love that.
So you're basically your parents were leading by example. No, it's not what you saw in your house, or it's not what you're doing now in your house.
You know what? My dad used to leave at 4 in the morning to work, and would come back around 9 to 10 every single day. So you can almost say that my dad was absent most of the time. I
Hmm.
couldn't even remember when it was there for my birthday, but you know, I didn't let that affect the relationship I had with my dad.
Yeah.
But I saw him work every single day, and maybe I got it from him. I don't work the weekends anymore. I try everything not to work the weekends. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do if you want to survive
Yes.
in this world. And if you have to work a Saturday, it's about survival. People need to also see it like that. It's about survival. Like, I don't want to have to tell my kids, hey man, we got to move out, I can't pay the rent this month. And there's a lot of families that have to give that news, hey man, we're moving into grandma's house because I failed to
Yeah.
provide. And there's nothing wrong with failing in life. You hit rock bottom, bro. I've been there. I've done that. And you bounce back up. Don't let it affect you. Don't get stuck in that rut, you know.
I
For
agree.
sure. Well, really, you're sharing a lot of knowledge. It's been really, really great. Will, thank you. Um, so I have some points on how to get better on communications. Let me know what you guys think. And Rudy, if you have the time, we understand. If you have to leave, I understand. So, how to improve communications based on different books. Be clear and concise. When communicating, especially with clients, use simple, clear language. Avoid technical terms unless you're sure the client understands it. Get straight to the point to avoid overwhelming them with unnecessary details. Um, Practice active listening. That's from
Oh,
Cybernetics. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Pay full attention to what the other person is saying and respond thoughtfully. This shows clients and team members that you value their input. Um, Address issues early. This one is from Crucial Conversations on Power versus Force. Don't avoid thought conversations, whether it's a budget issue or a scheduling conflict, address it quickly and professionally. This helps maintain trust and prevents bigger problems
Yep.
later.
Yep, exactly. So, something like that, sometimes we have to do things for free because the GC's like, man, well, I thought you included that. And I'm like, bro, chill. If it's gonna get you upset, I'll do it for free, bro. Not a big deal. Always stay professional. Always you're gonna have to give. It's a give and take relationship in this world. Yeah, address them. It's like a fire. Put it out as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Don't let it keep on burning and keep on burning.
Yeah, because then you're waiting and the problem gets bigger,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, four, and you were touching that, Rudy. Adapt communication. Every client or partner prefers a different communication style. Some prefer emails, while others need phone calls or in-person meetings. Tailor your approach based on their preferences.
Yep, yep. So I'm very verbal. They'll send me emails. They're like, "Hey, man, I sent you an email and you never replied." I'm like, "I've told you 100 times I do not communicate with email. You can call me. Here's my telephone number. If you need assistance now, pick up the phone, make that phone ring, please." I'm very verbal about that. That I do not I'm not. I don't call myself an office guy, and I kind of, in my mind, I connect emails with an office person. I'm just not that type of guy. I'm out in the field, ring the phone, call, put in the digits
Mhm.
you know send me a text, hey Rudy, call me when you have a chance. If I don't answer within an hour, call me. Like, I'm very clear about that. It's like, I'm not trying to ignore your communications. I might be under a building for 2 hours. Like,
Yeah.
there might not be no reception.
yep.
So I'm very clear on with my customers how I communicate, how I operate. All my scheduling is done through a text. So
Oh, wow.
I tell the GCs, send me a text with the job information and the address and when you want us there. What I do after work, I get into the schedule and I'm like, you're good. I booked you for the day that you wanted. We'll be there at 8:30. And it's in the text. That's the CYA part. Because as an electricians, I don't know if it's just me, but we hate being wrong. Tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Yep.
We hate
Yep.
being wrong. We hate somebody saying, I didn't agree for you to come on the 19th. Oh, really? Look, it's right here in the text. Isn't
Yep.
that what this says? Oh, I screwed up. Yeah, you screwed up, not me. So I hate being wrong. I hate screwing up. That's one of the things. I hate failing. and that's what motivates me, and that's
Okay.
what I tell these people. Look, man, the reason why we're texting is so that we can be, we can have the proof in the text of what we talked about, right? It's just that simple for me. So I love texting. I mean, the email can do the same thing, but I just can't keep track of the emails. I have like 10,000 emails from people I don't even
Yeah.
know.
Plus the spam, no?
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, I am out of here. Nice talking to you, Will. Nice
Thank you,
talking to you.
Rudy.
See you
And
tomorrow.
I am out of here. See you
Okay.
tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Have a good weekend. Whoever's going to Nika, we'll be out there at Nika Sunday, right, Will?
Yeah. I'm seeing you
Yeah,
tomorrow, though, right?
yeah. I'm going to go out there. So, take care,
Okay.
guys. Later. Bye.
Okay. So, Will, there's three more. Do you have the time?
I'm here all night with you, bro.
Okay. So number 5 is follow up consistently. This one is from the 16 undeniable laws of communication.
Yep.
Don't leave clients wondering. Follow up after meetings, proposals, and projects. And project milestones to confirm details and make sure everything is understood. Regular updates build trust and keep clients informed. Uh, so I was guilty of this one. When I was going to my customers and I will give them an estimate.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't call me, I will assume that was it. That they didn't accept my bid,
Yep.
and I was not doing the follow up. And after I was talking to my business coach, he was saying, you got to do the follow up. You got to keep communicating with your customers and see how you can build a relationship or what they didn't like about the estimate and figure it out so that way you can do the business, right?
Exactly. And that's what we were talking about yesterday and today. Remember, it's that follow up.
Yeah.
So what I appreciate the most about everything that you've been talking about is this is all soft skills.
Yes.
Remember the 3 tiers of a successful contractor: hard, soft,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and we talked all of them today. Rudy talked about how he's very, very dominant hard skill.
Yes.
Soft skills usually put on the back burner. Self-development is usually the one that's most ignored. So
Yeah.
this is soft skill, and it trickles in as well to self-development. Now with the soft skill, there's many ways about going about it. Just like Rudy said, texting is one way, email is another way, having an office manager is another way. There's
Yes.
so many ways you can develop these skills.
For sure.
About what you touched on before, it was point 1, 2, and 3, your first 3,
Yes.
where it talks about how to break it down to a simple words. Don't use big technical terms because the homeowner is not going to understand unless you know they understand. Do you know who said that?
Who?
Einstein.
Oh, wow.
Einstein. If you can teach or get a child to understand what you're doing, you broke it down in the simplest terms.
Wow.
Einstein. So that's a very good where it came from. Einstein. The second, where it says, listen, psycho-cybernetics.
Yes.
Listen to what people are saying, understand what they're saying, then come up with your own thoughts and respond.
Yes.
When I was in the fire academy and we were talking about radio chatter, we had our captain. He said so many people just listen to respond.
Yeah.
And you know who those people are. You'll have conversations with them and you'll see their eyes or you'll see their lips and they're ready to jump in at any moment. They haven't even heard the whole sentence yet, but they already want to throw their. And then there's the difference to when you're speaking to someone and they're quiet and they're sitting back and they're just watching you. And then you're like, you talk, you feel good that you're talking, you stop and they're like, huh, ba 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 ba.
Yes.
That's a dialogue. You can see when someone's just listening to respond, not listening to understand.
Yeah.
And then the third point where you talked about crucial conversations, power versus force. I'm telling you, those are 2 dangerous books. Those are 2 dangerous books. If you read those two books, Crucial Conversations and Power versus Force, your relationship with people completely change. You don't
Okay.
put up, you don't put up with crap. You understand where they're coming from.
Okay.
So start talking to somebody or listening to somebody talk. Power versus force. If you talk to someone and you start hearing I, that's ego. You know where they're.
Yes.
Is that a power move, or is that you're being led by your forces? You're led by forces. We. Ooh, different.
Yeah.
You see, I don't like that. This happened to me. Da 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 da. Or we can do better. I messed up. So even I messed up, accountability is a power move because you're acknowledging it.
Yes.
So once you read those two books, when you're listening to someone, you can now hear, they're a power player, or they're just complaining, they're just a force. Ignore them. And then you read Crucial Conversations. Now you know how to respond to those people. Those two books that you just mentioned, Crucial Conversations, Power versus Force, two books that freaking flip the script on you. You read those two books, you're going to talk. Normal people will bore you at this point.
Yeah.
After those two books, because you're just like, because you know where the conversation is going to go. You keep listening, but you know where it's going to go.
You know where it's going.
Did this to me every time I come over here. I'm over here. Da 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 da. I know where this conversation's going, but you still listen. And now, Crucial Conversations. Well, how do you feel like that? What did I do? What can I do to change your opinion? Blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
So those points, you hit it on the head, bro. I'm proud of you.
Okay, let's go with number 6. Well, on this one, basically, this one is really good. Well, because sometimes as electricians, we go to the customer's house, and we are like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do that, and we're not even. Sometimes we don't even listening to the customer what he or she really wants. We're just like thinking on do our pitch or do the sell, but we're not like listening on what exactly they want.
Yep.
Okay, so number 6, simplify and focus on value. This is from Boss Moves.
Yeah.
When communicating with clients, focus on the value you provide rather than overwhelming them with technical details. Simplify explanations and tie them back to how it benefits the client.
Yep. I just had that conversation I had my one-on-one yesterday. I don't know if you saw my stories. I had my one-on-one with Patrick Bet-David yesterday.
I saw it.
And yesterday we were talking about that because I talked to him about certain individuals who when you hear them speak, once again, power versus force, you hear that they're a salesman.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't like to be sold.
No.
If you show me what you just said, value, I'll buy value any day of the week. But if you try to sell me, you're not going to sell me. And there's 8 characteristics. There's 8 characteristics to a salesman. There's 8 different styles of sales. And you got to remember, everybody, just like when you speak, it's an art. There's an art and there's a style for everybody. For example, there's different sales guys out there. You know a whole bunch.
Yep.
Andy Elliott, Armozy, all these guys, they all have their niche. But guess what? Each one has their own thing. Andy Elliott, hard, strong, 100% closer. Armozy, value-based.
Yes.
Patrick David, guess what he says? What's his? His is evergreen. His is consultative. When you watch Patrick Bet-David's video, PBDs, does he ever just keep talking, or what does he do? What I love about him is how he asks questions. Right? He's like, what do you think about that? What about this? What about that? He always plays devil's advocate. So he asks questions to get more information from you. He gave me a homework last night. It's about this. I want you to look it up.
Okay.
Gary V did a podcast with, I forgot his name, but he's a motivational speaker.
Yes.
I forgot his name, but it's Gary V's podcast, and he invited a guest to speak
Okay.
on his podcast. So you know what a podcast is? It's interview, right? Like
Yes.
what we're now, Q&A, question and answer. What's your goal? If you're the host, if I'm at your house, who should be talking the most?
The guest.
And I was like, the guest. And Pat's like, yeah, give me a percentage. How much do you think?
Maybe a 70. Let's say a 70.
75-25.
Okay.
Industry standard, broadcasting, TV, commercial, radio, podcast, 75-25. Your guest speaks 75% of the time. You ask 25% of the questions. That's the goal. Gary V spoke 82% of the whole interview.
Okay.
So he didn't let his guest speak. That translates into sales. If you're talking, you don't have value.
Yeah.
Because you're not giving the person to stop, think about what your product has to offer, to now go purchase. If you got value, Hormozy style, give so much value, what? It'll be stupid for you not to buy it.
Yeah.
I don't need
it. Exactly.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you with every action, with every single thing I've done. If you like it, then that's the person I want to work with. Value driven.
For sure.
PBD, consultative sales. Andy Elliott, closer. Hormozy, value given. Think about Elon. What's his style? Elon Musk. Is he an Andy Elliott?
No.
But dude's the richest man on the world. Why? What's his?
Innovation.
What's his? Innovation. Storytelling.
Yeah.
I have a dream we're going to be on Mars.
Yeah.
The hell?
Exactly.
We're going to power up the entire world. What the visionary,
Yeah.
storyteller. That's a sales training.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different technique. The number one person, the number one sales guy who never lasts is the guy who talks too much and is always trying to, I'm here to sell. Damn right I am. You're not going to make money.
For sure. All right. Hey,
They said it. Market says it. The market dictates your value. The number one, those guys, no, value-based driven, consultative selling is the number one way. I got a PDF. I'm going to post that after this for you. Okay. I'm going to put it on story.
Let me go. Let me go with the last one, and we are really getting almost to the end. But I want to say thank you to the Rudy followers that stay with us. We really appreciate it. So we're talking about communication, and the number 7 is be open to feedback from psycho-cybernetics. Encourage open communications by asking for feedback from both clients and team members. This shows that you value continuous improvement and are open to making changes to better meet their needs.
Mm-hmm.
Create a system where clients and employees can easily provide feedback either through surveys or casual check-ins.
I told you, right? We said that before. Cypress, back in the day, if you had an opposing viewpoint, someone had the right to argue with you. And then who wins? Whoever comes back alive.
Yeah.
People don't want to have those conversations because they don't want to get to that point of getting the feedback. Those are all excellent points.
Well, you think?
And then, yeah, what were you going to say?
Maybe we're not strong enough to handle it, or we're like we were saying, maybe we're too soft.
No. Because public speaking has been the number one fear throughout centuries.
Okay.
It's always been a fear.
Yes.
Because you're literally telling somebody what you think. Something personal, I'm letting you know how I feel. Anybody shooting that down, that's terrifying for people, and that's throughout history. Bible times, people don't want to go out preaching.
Yes.
People don't want to preach the good news because why? They don't want to get stoned. Yeah. That's life. People don't. If you throw your opinion out there, someone has the right to argue back with you.
Of course.
People
Yeah.
want that confrontation. PBD found out. That's what number one people are afraid of. I'll talk to anybody.
Yeah.
But that's no. You hit it on the head. You hit it on the head. It's not. It doesn't have to do with soft. And remember, we have a mouth.
Yes.
We've been talking for years. You should be a better speaker than anybody. You do it every day. People just have to now think about what they say. Think about how they responded. Think about simplifying, like what you went over. In a basketball team or a soccer team, any type of sport, when they play a game and they lose, what does the coach make them do?
Probably watch the game to see the mistakes.
Roll the clip. Watch the tapes. They'll watch it 2, 3, 4, 5 times. The next day, they won't even work out. It's sit down in the office and watch that video. Watch the whole game.
Wow.
Figure out who messes up. How many times do you go to bed and say, I shouldn't have said that today? Knowing you,
A lot.
you probably say that.
A lot.
Yeah. Just by your personality, I know you do it. Just by your personality, I know you do. There's guys where you know they don't.
Yeah.
The arrogance, the ego speaking, once again, power versus force. They're led by their forces.
Yeah.
You know those guys. Me. They ain't thinking about how they can change. Individuals who have a nice power position, they're psycho-cybernetics. They're analyzing everything they do. I'll go in bed for 20 minutes and I'll be like, dang, why'd I do that? I shouldn't have said that. I have to do this different. Next time that happens, people don't do that. But it's the easiest and it's free.
Yeah. And sometimes if you're open to feedback, it's a way that you can learn and the things that you're doing wrong and how you can make them better, right? Sometimes people, they just give you a horrible feedback or for some reason, but you have to be like able to try to learn from it, right? And try to get the best of the feedback from people.
And guess what? That's the best thing you can get. Video also mentions haters online, in person, and criticism.
Yes.
That is free self-development. People pay to get other people to tell them what to do.
Yes.
A hater, a bad comment, a bad customer, that's free. Now, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to be like, oh, that homeowner's crazy, they don't know what they're talking about? Oh, no, well, that wasn't in the contract, like Rudy said.
Yeah.
That wasn't what we agreed on. No, you're right. Next conversation I have with that person, I'm going to make sure I mention that.
Yes.
People just fight. Stop. Learn from it. Take it on the chin. Like Rudy said, crap, I got to charge that for free because I didn't explain that better. I didn't give that clear communication.
Of course.
Learn from it. Next customer, oh, you didn't tell me the price would change if it took more than 3 hours.
Yeah.
Next job you go to, hey, if it takes more than 3 hours, I got it. Now you learned.
You're getting better and better every time, right?
Feedback, though. People don't understand. Pat said, fail fast.
Yes.
In the sense where if you fail something, you instantly learn what you need to improve.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
Wow. Well, thank you. I really appreciate your generosity. I know it's late, but thank you. It's always nice to get your input. And thank you, everybody, for being here. Anything else that you want to say? Will is at Energize Us, and follow him, Will Betances, too. And he will be Saturday and Sunday at Nika. Right, Will?
I leave in 4 hours. My driver gets here in 4 hours at 4 o'clock in the morning.
So everybody, if you're not following Will, follow him. He's always sharing good stuff, and he's always trying to bring value to his followers every Tuesday and Thursdays. Thank you, Will.
Be safe. See you. Are you going to be at Nico or no?
No, I'm not. It's too far from me.
I'll be close to you in California.
Hey, but Lalo is going to give you a hug for me.
Oh, yeah, I know. We're going to, he had dinner tonight. I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Red Wolf.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Will, and thank you, everybody. So the next Friday, we're going to be talking about customer service and customer retention. How can we get better on customer service and customer retention? That's the next Friday. And the Friday after, we're thinking we're going to be talking about mental health. Mental health. That one, we're going to be having it on Spanish. And hopefully we can get a closed caption to make it in English too. Or maybe we know if we get a contact from someone that knows a lot about psychology. We want to do a mental health show. We're going to do one in Spanish and we're going to do one in English. So these lives are so we can learn from each other. So hopefully you like it, and hopefully you can keep coming to every Friday at 7 to this page. Thank you and have a good night.